Aristophanes, the clouds. At the back of the stage are two buildings, the house of Strepsiades and Fronticiteron, Irion. The interior of the first is exposed to view by means of the encyclima. Strepsiades and Pheidippides discovered in bed. Oh dear, oh dear! O Lord, O Zeus, these nights, how long they are! Will they ne'er pass? Will the day ne'er come? Surely I heard the cock crow hours ago, yet still my servant snores. These are new customs, O ware of war, for many various reasons. One fears in war even to flog one's servants. And here's this hopeful son of mine, wrapped up, snoring and sweating under 5 thick blankets. Come, we'll wrap up and snore in opposition. Tries to sleep. But I can't sleep a wink, devoured and bitten by ticks and bugbears, duns and racehorses, all through this son of mine. He curls his hair, and sports his thoroughbreds, and drives his tandem. Even in dreams he rides, while I'm ruined, now that the moon has reached her 20ths, and paying time comes on. Boy, light a lamp, and fetch my ledger. Now I'll reckon up. Who are my creditors, and what I owe them? Come, let me see them. 50 pounds to Passius? Why 50 pounds to Passius? What were they for? Oh, for the hack from Corinth. Oh dear, I wish my eye had been hacked out before. You are cheating, Philon. Keep to your own side. Ah, there it is. That's what has ruined me. Even in his very sleep he thinks of horses. How many heats do the war chariots run? A pretty many heats have run your father. Now then, what debt assails me after Passius? A curricle and wheels, 12 pounds, a minius. Here, give the horse a roll and take him home. You have rolled me out of house and home, my boy. Cast in some suits already, while some swear they'll seize my goods for payment. Good, my father. What makes you toss so restless all night long? There's a bumbalif from the mattress bites me. Come now, I prithee, let me sleep in peace. Well then you sleep, only be sure of this. These debts will fall on your own head at last. Alas, alas. Forever cursed be the same matchmaker, who stirred me up to marry your poor mother. Mine in the country was the pleasantest life, untidy, easy-going, unrestrained, brimming with olives, sheepfolds, honeybees. Ah, then I married. I, a rustic. Her, a fine town lady, niece of Megacles, a regular, proud, luxurious Coisira. This wife I married, and we came together. I rank with wine lees, fig boards, greasy woolpacks, she all with scents and saffron and tongue-kissings, feasting, expense, and lordly modes of loving. She was not idle, though, she was too fast. I used to tell her, holding out my cloak, threadbare and worn, wife, you're too fast by half. Enter a servant boy. Here's no more oil remaining in the lamp. Oh me, what made you light the tippling lamp? Come and be whipped. Why, what would you whip me for? Why did you put one of those thick wicks in? Well, when at last to me and my good woman this hopeful son was born, our son and heir, why then we took to wrangle on the name. She was the giving him some knightly name, Callippides, Xanthipus, or Cherepus. I wish Phidonides, his grandsire's name. Thus for some time we argued, till at last we compromised it in Pheidippides. This boy she took, and used to spoil him, saying, Oh, when you are driving to the Acropolis, clad like Megacles, in your purple, whilst I said, Oh, when the goats you are driving from the fells, glad like your father, in your sheepskin coat? Well, he cared not for my advice, but soon a galloping consumption caught my fortunes. Now cogitating all night long, I found one way, one marvelous transcendent way, which if he'll follow, we may yet be saved. So, but, however, I must rouse him first. But how to rouse him kindliest? That's the rub, Pheidippides, my sweet one. Well, my father, shake hands, Phidippides. Shake hands and kiss me. There was the matter. There, what's the matter? Dost thou love me, boy? Aye, by Poseidon there, the god of horses. No, not that. Miss out the god of horses. That god's the origin of all my evils. But if you love me from your heart and soul, my son, obey me. Very well, what's in? Strip with all speed, strip off your present habits, and go and learn what I'll advise you to. Name your commands. Will you obey? I will, by Dionysus. Well then, look this way. See you that wicket and the lodge beyond? I see. And prithee, what is that, my father? That is the thinking house of sapient souls. There dwell the men who teach, who persuade us, that heaven is one vast fire extinguisher, placed round about us, and that we're the cinders. And they'll teach, only they'll want some money. How one may speak and conquer, right or wrong. Come, tell their names. Well, I can't quite remember, but they're deep thinkers, and true gentlemen. Out on the rogues, I know them. Those rank pedants. Those pale-faced, barefoot vagabonds, you mean. That Socrates, poor wretch, and Cherepaphon. Oh, hush, hush. Don't use those foolish words, but if the sorrows of my barley touch you, enter their schools and cut the turf forever. I wouldn't go, so help me Dionysus, for all Legogoras, a breed of Phasians. Go, I beseech you, dear son, go and be taught. And what would you have me learn? 'Tis known that in their schools they keep two logics. The worst, Zeus save the mark, the worse and the better. The second logic, then, I mean the worse one. They teach the talk unjustly and prevail. Think, then, you only learned that unjust logic, and all the debts which I have incurred through you. I'll never pay, no, not 1 farthing of them. I will not go. How could I face the nights, with all my color worn and torn away? Oh, then, by earth, you have eat your last of mine? You and your coat-horse, and your Sigma brand, out with you. Go to the crows, for all I care. But Uncle Megacles won't leave me long, without a horse. I'll go to him. Goodbye. Exit Strepithes, cross to the Frontisterion. I'm thrown, by Zeus, but won't long lie prostrate. I'll pray the gods and send myself to school. I'll go at once and try their thinking house. Stay, how can I forget a slow old fool? Learn the nice hair-splittings of subtle logic? Well, go I must. 'Twon't do to linger here. Come on, I'll knock the door. Boy, ho there, boy. Student within. Oh, hang it all! Who's knocking at the door? Me! Phidon's son, Strepides of Sicina. Why, what a clown you are, to kick our door in such a thoughtless, inconsiderate way. You've made my cogitation to miscarry. Forgive me, I'm an awkward country fool, but tell me, what was that I made miscarry? 'Tis not allowed, students alone may hear. Oh, that's all right. You may tell me. I'm come to be a student in your thinking house. Come then, but they're high mysteries, remember. 'Twas Socrates was asking Seraphon how many feet of its own a flea could jump. For one first bit the brow of Seraphon, then bounded off to Socrates' head. How did he measure this? Most cleverly. He warmed some wax, and then he caught the flea, and dipped its feet into the wax he'd melted. Then let it cool, and there were Persian slippers. These he took off, and so he found the distance. O Zeus and King, what subtle intellects! What would you say then if you heard another, our master's own? Oh, come, do tell me that. Why, Seraphon was asking him in turn, which theory did he sanction, that the gnats hummed through their mouth, or backwards through the tail? Aye, and what said your master of the gnat? He answered thus, the entrail of the gnat is small, and through this narrow pipe the wind rushes with violence straight toward the tail. They are close against the pipe. The hollow rump receives the wind and whistles to the blast. So then the rump is trumpet to the gnats. Oh, happy, happy in your entrail learning. Full surely need he fear nor debts, nor duns, who knows about the entrails of the gnats. And yet last night a mighty thought we lost through a green lizard. Tell me, how was that? Why, as himself, with eyes and mouth wide open, mused on the moon, her path and revolutions, a lizard from the roof squirted full on him. Hee hee hee! I like the lizard spattering Socrates. Then yesterday, poor we'd got no dinner. Ha! What did he devise to do for barley? He sprinkled on the table some fine ash, he bent a spit, he grasped it compass-wise, and flinched a mantle from the wrestling school. Good heavens! Why, Thales was a fool to this. Oh, open, wide and study the study door. And show me, Socrates. I die to be a student. Open. Oh, Hercules, what kind of beasts are these? Why, what's the matter? What do you think they're like? Like, why, those Spartans whom we brought from Phyllis. What makes them fix their eyes so on the ground? They seek things underground. Oh, to be sure, truffles. You there, don't trouble about that. I'll tell you where the best and finest grow. Look, why do those snoop down so very much? They're diving deep into the deepest secrets. Then why's their rump turned up towards the sky? It's taking private lessons on the stars. Come, get in. He'll catch us presently. Not yet. Let's just let them stop one moment, while I impart a little matter to them. No, they must go in. 'Twould never do to expose themselves too long to the open air. Oh, by the gods, now, what are these? Do tell me. This is astronomy. And what is this? Geometry? Well, what's the use of that? To mete out lands. What for allotment grounds? No, but all lands. A choice idea, truly. Then every man may take his choice, you mean? Look, here's a chart of the whole world. Do you see? This city's Athens. Athens? I like that. I see no die-cast sittings. That's not Athens. In very truth, this is the Attic ground. And where, then, are my townsmen of Sigina? Why, thereabouts in here, you see. Euboea. Here reaching out a long way by the shore. The entire front of the house is wheeled round, exposing the inner court of the Frontisterion. Rogers. Yes, overreached by us and Pericles. But now where's Sparta? Let me see. Oh, here. Heavens, now how near us. Oh, do please manage this. To shove her off from us a long way further. We can't do that, by Zeus. The worse for you. Hello, who's that? That fellow in the basket. That's he. Who's he? Socrates. Socrates. You, sir, call out to him as loud as you can. Call him yourself. I have not leisure now. The machine swings Socrates in. Socrates, Socrates, sweet Socrates. Mortal, why callest thou me? Oh, first of all, please tell me what you are doing. I walk on air and contemplate the sun. Oh, then from a basket you contemplate the gods, and not from the earth at any rate? So, most true. I could not have searched out celestial matters without spending judgment, and infusing my subtle spirit with the kindred air. If from the ground I were to seek these things, I could not find. So surely doth the air, earth, draw to herself the essence of your thought. The same, too, is the case with watercress. Hello, what's that? Thought draws the essence into watercress? Come down, sweet Socrates, more near my level, and teach the lessons which I come to learn. And wherefore art thou come? To learn to speak, for owing to my horrid debts and duns. My goods are seized, I'm robbed, and mobbed, and plundered. How did you get involved with your eyes open? A galloping consumption seized my money. Come now, do let me learn the unjust logic. That can shirk debts. Now do just let me learn it. Name your own price. By all the gods I'll pay it. The gods? Why, you must know the gods with us. Don't pass for current coin. Eh? What do you use then? Have you got iron, as the Byzantines have? Come, would you like to learn celestial matters? How their truth stands? Yes, if there's any truth, and to hold intercourse with yon bright clouds, our virgin goddesses. Yes, that I should. Then sit you down upon that sacred bed, while I am sitting. Here then, take this chaplet. Chaplet? Why now, never. Socrates, don't sacrifice poor me, like Athamas. Fear not, our interest service requires all to do this. But what am I to gain? You'll be the flower of talkers, prattlers, gossips. Only keep quiet. Zeus, your words come true. I shall be flower indeed with all this peppering. Old man, sit you still and attend to my will, and hearken in peace to my prayer. O master and king, holding earth in your swing, O measureless infinite air, and thou glowest ether and clouds who enwreath her with thunder and lightning and storms. Arise ye and shine, bright ladies divine, to your student in bodily forms. No, but stay, just one moment, I pray, while my cloak around my temples I wrap, to think that I've come, stupid fool, from my home, with never a waterproof cap. So come forth, dread clouds, and to earth your glorious majesty show, whether lightly ye rest on the time-honored crest of Olympus environed in snow, or tread the soft dance mid the stately expanse of ocean, the nymphs to beguile, or stoop to enfold with your pitchers of gold the mystical waves of the Nile, or around the white foam of Meatus ye roam, or Mimas all wintry and bare. O hear while we pray, and turn not away from the rites which your servants prepares. Chorus of clouds appears. Clouds of all hue, rise we aloft with our garments of dew. Come from old ocean's unchangeable bed. Come till the mountains' green summits we tread. Come to the peaks with their landscapes untold. Gaze on the earth with her harvests of gold. Gaze on the rivers in majesty streaming. Gaze on the lordly invincible sea. Come, for the eye of the ether is beaming. Come, for all nature is flashing and free. Let us shake off this close clinging dew from our members eternally new, and sail upward the wide world to view. Come away, come away. O goddess mine, great clouds and divine, ye have heeded and answered my prayer. Heard ye their sound and the thunder around, as it thrilled through the tremulous air? Yes, by Zeus, and I shake, and I'm all of a quake, and I fear I must sound a reply. The thunders have made my soul so afraid, and those terrible voices so nigh. So, if unlawful or not, I must run to a spot. By Zeus, if I stop, I shall die. Don't act in our schools like those comedy fools, with those scurrilous, scandalous ways. Deep silence be thine, while this cluster divine their soul-stirring melody raise. Come then with me, daughters of mist, to the land of the free. Come to the people whom Phallus hath blessed. Come to the soil where the mysteries rest. Come where the glorified temple invites the pure to partake of its mystical rites. Holy the gifts that are brought to the gods, shrines with festoons and with garlands are crowned. Pilgrims resort to the sacred abodes, gorgeous the festivals all the year round. And the Bromian rejoices in spring, when the flutes with their deep music ring, and the sweetly toned choruses sing, Come away, come away. O Socrates, pray, by all the gods, say, for I earnestly long to be told, who are these that reside with such grandeur and might? Are they glorified mortals of old? No mortals are there, but clouds of the air, great gods who the indolent fill. These grant us discourse and logical force, and the art of persuasion instill. And paraphrases strange, and a power to arrange, and a marvelous judgment and skill. So then when I heard their omnipotent word, my spirit felt all of a flutter, and it yearns to begin subtle cobwebs to spin, and about metaphysics to stutter, and together to glue an idea or two, and battle away in replies. So if it's not wrong, I earnestly long to behold them myself with my eyes. So look up in the air towards Parneus out there, for I see they will pitch before long, these regions about. Where? Point me them out. They are drifting, an infinite throng, and their long shadows quake over valley and brake. Why? Whatever's the matter today? I can't see, I declare. By the entrance, look there. Ah, I just got a glimpse, by the way. There, now you must see how resplendent they be, or your eyes must be pumpkins, I vow. Ah, I see them proceed. I should think so indeed. Great powers, they fill everything now. So then till this day, that celestials were they, you never imagined or knew. Why, no, on my word, for I always had heard, they were nothing but vapor and dew. Oh, then I declare, that can't be aware, that 'tis these who the sophists protect. Prophets sent beyond sea, quacks of every degree, fops signet and jewel bedecked, astrological knaves and fools who their staves of the rams proudly rehearse. 'Tis the clouds who all these support at their ease, because they exalt them in verse. 'Tis for this, then, they write of the onrushing might, over the light stampin' rain-droppin' cloud, and the thousand black curls whilk the tempest whirls. And the thunder blast stormy and loud, and birds o' the sky floating upwards on high, and air water lettys, which droon we, their saft falling drew the grand ether say blue, and then return they gulp doon huge goblets o' fish, and bountiful dishes, o' mavises prime for their season. And is it not right such praise to requite? Ah, but they tell me, then, what is the reason, that if you say, they are clouds, they today, as women appear to our view. For the ones in the air are not women, I swear. Why, what do they seem then to you? I can't say very well, but they straggle and swell, like fleeces spread out in the air. Not like women they flit, no, by Zeus, not a bit. But these have got noses to wear. Well, now then, attend to this question, my friend. Look sharp and propound it to me. Didst thou never espy a cloud in the sky, which a centaur or leopard might be, or a wolf or a cow? Very often, I vow, and show me the cause I entreat. Why, I tell you that these become just what they please, and whenever they happen to meet, one shaggy and wild, like the tangle-haired child of old Xenophantes, their rule is at once to appear like centaurs, to jeer, the ridiculous look of the fool. What then do they do if Simon they view, that fraudulent harpy to shame? Why, his nature to show us mortals below a wolfish appearance they frame. Oh, they then, I ween, having yesterday seen Cleonymus quaking with fear, him who threw off his shield as he fled from the field, metamorphosed themselves into deer. Yes, and now they espy Sophocles nigh, and therefore a woman appear? Oh, then without fail, all hail and all hail, my welcome receive and reply, with your voices so fine, so grand and divine, magical queens of the sky. Our welcome to thee, old man, who wouldst see the marvels that science can show, and thou, the high priest of this subtly feast, Say, what would you have us bestow, since there is not a sage for whom we'd engage our wonders more freely to do, except it may be for Prodicus, he for his knowledge may claim them, but you, for that sideways you throw there your eyes as you go, and are all affectation and fuss. No shoes will you wear, but assume the grand air on the strength of your dealings with us. O earth, what a sound, how august and profound, it fills me with wonder and awe. These then alone, for true deities own, the rest are all godships of straw. Let Zeus be left out, he's a god beyond doubt, come, that you can scarcely deny. Zeus indeed, there's no Zeus, don't you be so obtuse. No Zeus up aloft in the sky? Then you must first explain who it is sends the rain, or I really must think you are wrong. Well then, be it known that these send it alone. I can prove it by argument strong. Was there ever a shower seen to fall in an hour when the sky was all cloudless and blue? Yet on a fine day, when the clouds are away, he might send one according to you. Well, it must be confessed that chimes in with the rest, your words I am forced to believe. Yet before I have dreamed that the rain waters streamed from Zeus in his chamber pot sieve, but whence then, my friend, does the thunder descend, that does make my quake with affright? Why, 'tis they, I declare, as they roll through the air. What, the clouds? Did I hear you aright? Aye, for when to the brim filled with water they swim, by necessity carried along, they are hung up on high in the vault of the sky, and so by necessity strong. In the midst of their course they clash with great force, and thunder away without end. But it is not he who compels this to be. Does not Zeus the necessity send? No Zeus have we there, but a vortex of air. What, vortex? That's something, I own. I knew not before that Zeus was no more. But vortex was placed on his throne. But I have not yet heard to what cause you referred, the thunder's majestical roar. Yes, 'tis they. When on high full of water they fly, and then, as I told you before, by compression impelled as they clash are compelled, a terrible clatter to make. Come, how can that be? I don't really see. Yourself as my proof I will take. Have you never then eaten the broth pudding you get, when the Panathenea comes round, and felt with that what might your bowels all night in turbulent tumult resound? By Apollo, 'tis true, there's a mighty to do, and my belly keeps rumbling about, and the pudding begins to clatter within, and kick up a wonderful rout. Quite gently at first, papa-packs, but soon papa-packs away, till at last, I'll be bound, I can thunder as aloud, papa-packs, as they. Shalt thou then a sound, so loud and profound, from thy belly diminutive send, and shall not the high and the infinite sky go thundering on without end? For both you will find on an impulse of wind, and similar causes depend. Well, but tell me from whom comes the bolt through the gloom, with its awful and terrible flashes, and wherever it turns, some it singes and burns, and some it reduces to ashes. For this 'tis quite plain, let who will send the rain, that Zeus against perjurers dashes. And how you old fool from a dark age's school, and an antediluvian wit, if they perjure they strike, and not all men alike, have they never Cleonemus hit? Then of Simon again and Theorus explain, known perjurers, yet they escape, but he smites his own shrine with his arrows divine, and Sunium, Attica's cape, and the ancient gnarled oaks. Now what prompted those strokes? They never forswore, I should say. Can't say that they do, your words appear true, whence comes from that thunderbolt prey. When a wind that is dry, being lifted on high, is suddenly pent into these, it swells up their skin like a bladder within, by necessity's chainless decrees, till compressed very tight it bursts them outright, and away with an impulse so strong, that at last by the force and the swing of its course, it takes fire as it whizzes along. That's exactly the thing I suffered one spring, at the great feast of Zeus, I admit. I'd a paunch in the pot, but I wholly forgot about making the safety valve slit. So it sputtered and swelled, while the saucepan I held, till at last with a vengeance it flew. Took me quite by surprise, dung bespattered my eyes, and scalded my face black and blue. O thou who wouldst fain great wisdom attain, and comest to us in thy need, all Hellas around shall thy glory resound, such a preposterous life thou shalt lead. So thou art but endued with a memory good, and accompanied profoundly to think, and thy soul wilt injure all wants to endure, and from no undertaking to shrink, and art hardy and bold to bear up against cold, and with patience a supper thou losest. Nor too much dost inclined to gymnastics and wine, but all lusts of the body refusest. and esteemest it best. What is always the test of a truly intelligent brain, to prevail and succeed whensoever you plead, and host of tongue conquest to gain. But as far as a sturdy soul is concerned, and a horrible restless care, and a belly that pines and wears away, on the wretchedest, frugalest fare, you may hammer and strike as long as you like, I am quite invincible there. Now then, you agree in rejecting with me the gods you believed in when young, and my creed you'll embrace. I believe in wide space, in the clouds, in the eloquent tongue. If I happen to meet other gods in the street, I'd show the cold shoulder, I vow, no libation I'll pour, not one victim more on their altars I'll sacrifice now. Now be honest and true, and say what we shall do, since we shall never fail to our aid, if you hold us most dear in devotion and fear, and will ply the philosopher's trade. O ladies divine, small ambition is mine, I only most modestly seek, out and out for the rest of my life to be best, of the children of Hellas to speak. Say no more of your care, we have granted your prayer, and know from this moment that none more acts shall pass through in the people than you shall favor from us you have won. Not acts, if you please, I want nothing of these. This gift you may quickly withdraw, but I wish to succeed, just enough for my need, and to slip through the clutches of law. This then you shall do, for your wishes are few, not many nor great your demands. So away with all care from henceforth, and prepare to be placed in our votary's hands. Then this will I do, confiding in you, for necessity presses me sore, and so sad is my life, twixt my cobs and my wife, that I cannot put up with it more. So now at your word I give and afford my body to these, to treat as they please, to have and to hold, in squalor and cold, in hunger and thirst, yea, by Zeus, at the worst, to be flayed out of shape from my heels to my nape, so long as my hide from my duns I escape, and to men may appear without conscience or fear, bold, hasty, and wise, a concocter of lies, a rattler to speak, a dodger, a sneak, a regular claw of the tables of law, a shuffler complete, well worn in deceit, a supple, unprincipled, troublesome cheat, a hangdog accursed, a bore with the worst, and the tricks of the jury court thoroughly versed. If all that I meet this praise shall repeat, work away as you choose, I will nothing refuse. Without any reserve, from my head to my shoes, you shan't see me wince through my gutlets, you mince. And these entrails of mine, for a sausage combine, served up for the gentlemen students to dine. Here's a spirit bold and high, ready armed for any strife. If you learn what I can teach of the mysteries of speech, your glory soon shall reach to the summit of the sky. And what am I to gain? With the clouds you will obtain the most happy, the most enviable life. It is possible for me such felicity to see. Yes, and men shall come and wait, in their thousands at your gate, desiring consultations and advice, on an action or a pleading, from the man of light and leading, and you'll pocket many talents in a trice. Here, take the old man, and do all that you can, your new-fashioned thoughts to instill, and stir up his mind with your notions refined, and test him with judgment and skill. Come now, you tell me something of your habits, for if I don't know them I can't determine what engines must bring to bear upon you. Eh, what? Not going to storm me, by the gods. No, I want to ask you a few questions. First, is your memory good? 2 ways by Zeus, if I'm owed anything, I'm mindful very. But if I owe, oh dear, forgetful very. Well then, have you the gift of speaking in you? The gift of speaking? No, of cheating, yes. No? How then can you learn? Oh, well enough. Then, when I throw you out some clever notion about the laws of nature, you must catch it. What, must I snap up sapience in dog fashion? Oh, why, the man's an ignorant old savage. I fear, my friend, that you'll require the whip. Come, if one strikes you, what do you do? I'm struck. Then in a little while I call my witness. Then in another little while I summon him. Put off your cloak. Why, what have I done wrong? Oh, nothing. I'll go in here naked. Well, but I have not come with a search warrant. Fool, throw it off. Well, tell me this one thing. If I'm extremely careful and attentive, which of your students shall I most resemble? Why, Sheriffon. You'll be his very image. What? I shall be half dead. Oh, luckless me. Don't chatter there, but come and follow me. Make haste now, quicker here. Oh, but do first give me a honeyed cake. Zeus, how I tremble. To go down there, as if to see Trophonius. Go on, why keep you pottering round the door? Socrates and Strephonides enter the fronterion. Yes, go and farewell, as your courage is great, so bright be your fate. May all good fortune his steps pursue. who now, in his life's dim twilight haze, is game such venturesome things to do, to steep his mind in discoveries new, to walk a novice in wisdom's ways. O spectators, I will utter honest truths with accents free, yea, by mighty Dionysus, him who bred and nurtured me. So may I be deemed a poet, and this day obtain the prize, as till that unhappy blunder I had always held you wise. And of all my plays esteeming, this the wisest and the best, served it up for your enjoyment, which had more than all the rest, cost me thought, time, and labor, then most scandalously treated. I retired in mighty dungeon, by unworthy foes defeated. This is why I claim your critics, for whose sake I framed the play. Yet the clever ones amongst you, even now I won't betray. No, for ever since from judges, unto whom 'tis joy to speak, brothers profligate and modest gained the praise we fondly seek. When, for I was yet a virgin, and it was not right to bear, I expose it. Wherever I was before getting interrupted. I'm struck. Then in a little while I call my witness. Then in another little while I summon him. Put off your cloak. Why, what have I done wrong? Oh, nothing, nothing. I'll go in here naked. Well, but I have not come with a search warrant. Fool, throw it off. Well, tell me this one thing. If I'm extremely careful and attentive, which of your students shall I most resemble? Why, Sheriffon. You'll be his very image. What, I shall be half dead. Oh, luckless me. Don't chatter there, but come and follow me. Make haste now, quicker here. Oh, but do first give me a honeyed cake. Zeus, how I tremble, to go down there as if to see Trophonius. Go on, why keep you pottering round the door? Socrates and Strepsidae enter the Frontiserion. Yes, go and farewell, as your courage is great. So bright be your fate. May all good fortune his steps pursue, who now in his life's dim twilight haze is game such venturesome things to do, to steep his mind in discoveries new, to walk a novice in wisdom's ways. O spectators, I will utter honest truths with accents free, yea, by mighty Dionysus, him who bred and nurtured me. So may I be deemed a poet, and this day obtain the prize, as till that unhappy blunder I had always held you wise, and of all my plays esteeming, this the wisest and the best, served it up for your enjoyment, which had, more than all the rest, cost me thought and time and labor. Then most scandalously treated, I retired in mighty dungeon. But unworthy foes defeated, this is why I blame your critics, for whose sake I framed the play, yet the clever ones amongst you even now I won't betray. No, for ever since from judges, unto whom 'tis joy to speak, brothers profligate and modest gained the praise we fondly seek. When, for I was yet a virgin, and it was not right to bear, I exposed it, and another did the fondling nurse with care. But 'twas ye who nobly nurtured, ye who brought it up with skill. From that honor I proudly cherish, pledges of your sure goodwill. Now then comes its sister hither, like Electra in the play, comes in earnest expectation, kindred's minds to meet today. She will recognize full surely, if she finds her brother's tress, and observe how pure her morals, who, to notice her first dress, enters not with filthy symbols on her modest garments hung, jeering bald heads dancing ballets for the laughter of the young. In this play no wretched greybeard with a staff his fellow pokes, so obscuring from the audience all the poorness of his jokes. No one rushes in with torches, no one groans, oh dear, trusting in its genuine merits comes this play before you hear. Yet, though such a hero poet, I, the bald head, do not grow curling ringlets, neither do I twice or thrice my pieces show. Always fresh ideas spark, always novel jests delight. Nothing like each other, save that all are most exceedingly bright. I am he who floored the giant Slayon in our hour of pride. Yet when down I scorned to strike him, and I left him when he died. But the others, when a handle once Hyperbolus did lend, trampled down the wretched caitiff and his mother without end. In his Maricus the Dracard, Eupulus the charge began, shamefully my knights distorting, as he is a shameful man. Tacking on the tipsy beldame, just the ballet dance to keep. Phrenicus, prime invention, eat by monsters of the deep. Then Hermippus on the caitiff opened all his little skill, and the rest upon the caitiff are their wits exhausting still. And my smile to pilfer, of the eels they all combine. Whoso laughs at their productions, let him not delight in mine. But for you who praise my genius, You who think my writings clever, ye shall gain a name for wisdom, yea, forever and ever. O mighty God, O heavenly King, first unto thee my prayer I bring. O come, Lord Zeus, to my choral song, and thou, dread power, whose resistless hand heaves up the sea and the trembling land. Lord of the trident, stern and strong, and thou who sustainest the life of us all, come either our parent, O come to my call, and thou who floodest the world with light, guiding thy steeds through the glittering sky, to men below and to gods on high, a potentate heavenly bright. A most sapient wise spectator, hither turn attention due, we complain of sad ill treatment, we've a bone to pick with you. We have ever helped your city, helped with all our might and main, yet you pay us no devotion, that is why we now complain. We who always watch around you, for if any project seems ill concocted, then we thunder. Then the rain comes down in streams, and remember very lately how we knit our brows together. Thunders crashing, lightnings flashing, never was such awful weather, and the moon in haste eclipsed her, and the sun in anger swore he would curl his whip within him, and give light to you no more. Should you choose that mischief worker, Cleon, whom the gods abhor, tanner, slave, and Paphlagonian, to lead out your host to war. Yet you choose him. For they say that folly grows best and finest in this city. But the gracious gods dispose always all things for the better, causing errors to succeed. And how this sad job may profit. Surely, he who runs may read. Let the cormorant be convicted, in command of bribes and theft. Let us have him gagged and muzzled, in the pillory chained and left. Then again in ancient fashion, all that ye have erred of late, will turn out your own advantage, and a blessing to the state. Phoebus my king, come to me still, thou who holdest the Cynthian hill, the lofty peak of the Delian isle, and thou his sister, to whom each day Lydian maidens devoutly pray. In thy stately gilded Ephesian pile, and Athene, our lady, the queen of us all, with the aegis of God, O come to my call, and thou whose dancing torches of pine flicker Parnassian glades along. Dionysus, star of thy Maenad throng, come, reveller most divine. We, when we had finished packing, and prepared our journey down, met the Lady Moon, who charged us with a message for your town. First, all hail to noble Athens and her faithful true allies. Then, she said, your shameful conduct made her angry passions rise, treating her so ill, who always aids you, not in words but clearly, saves you first of all in torchlight, every month a drachma nearly, so that each one says, if business calls him out from home by night, buy no link, my boy, this evening, for the moon will lend her light. Other blessings, too, she sends you, yet you will not mark your days, as she bids you, but confuse them, jumbling them all sorts of ways. And she says the gods in chorus shower reproaches on her head, when in bitter disappointment they go supperless to bed, not obtaining festal banquets, duly on the festal day. Ye are badgering in the law courts, when ye should rise and slay, and full oft when we celestials some strict fast are duly keeping, for the fate of mighty Memnon, of divine Serpedon, weeping, then you feast and pour libations, and Herbibolus of late lost the crown he wore so proudly. As recorder of the gate, through the wrath of us immortals, so perchance he'll rather know, always all his days in future, by the Lady Moon to go. Socrates here comes out of the Frontisterion, where he has been endeavoring to teach Strepsiades. Never by chaos, air, and respiration. Never, no never, have I seen a clown so helpless and forgetful and absurd. Why, if he learns a quirk or two, he clean forgets them ere he has learnt them, all the same. I'll call him out of doors here to the light. Take up your bed, Strepsiades, and come. By Zeus, I can't. The bugs make such resistance. Make haste. There, throw it down and listen, entering with bed. Well, attend to me. What shall I teach you first? That you've not learnt before? Which will you have? Measures or rhythms or the right use of words? Oh, measures to be sure. For very lately a grocer swindled me of full 3 pints. I don't mean that, but which do you like the best? Of all the measures, 6 feet or 8 feet? Well, I like nothing better than the yard. Fool, don't talk nonsense. What will you bet me now that 2 yards don't exactly make 6 feet? Consume you. What an arrogant, ignorant clown you are. Still, perhaps you can learn tunes more easily. But will tunes help me to repair my fortunes? They'll help you to behave in company. If you can tell which kind of tune is best for the sword dance and which for finger music. For fingers, aye, but I know that. Say on then. What is it but this finger, though, before, ere this was grown? I used to play with that. Insufferable dolt. Well, but, you goose, I don't want to learn this. What do you want, then? Teach me the logic, teach me the unjust logic. But you must learn some other matters first, as what are males among the quadrupeds. I should be mad indeed not to know that. The ram, the bull, the goat, the dog, the fowl. Ah, there you are. There's a mistake at once. You call the male and female fowl the same. How? Tell me how. Why, fowl and fowl, of course. That's true, though. What then shall I say in future? Call one a fowlus and the other a fowl? A fowlus? Good, bravo, bravo, by air. Now for that one price piece of information, I'll give you a barley bumper in your trough. Look there, a fresh mistake. You called it trough. Masculine, when it's feminine. How, pray, how did I make it masculine? Why, trough, just like Cleonimus. I don't quite catch it. Why, though, Cleomenes, both masculine. Ah, but Cleomenes has got no trough. His bread is kneaded by a round mortar. Still, what must I say in future? What? Why call it a trophus? Female, just as one says an actress? A trophus female? That's the way to call it. Trophus, then the Miss Cleomenes. Still, you must learn some more about these names. Which are the names of men and which of women? Oh, I know which are women. We'll repeat some. Demetria, Clitorgia, Philina. Now tell me some men's names. Oh yes, 10,000. Philon, Melicius, Amnesius. Hold, I said men's names. Those are women's names. No, they're men's. They are not men's. For how would you address Amenius if you met him? How? Somehow thus... Here, Amenia. Amenia, a woman's name, you see. And rightly, too. A sneak who shirks all service. But all know this. Let's pass to something else. Well then, you get into bed. And then? Excogitate about your own affairs. Not there, I do beseech, not there. At least let me excogitate on the bare ground. There's no way but this. Oh, luckless me, how I shall suffer from the bugs today. Now then, survey in every way, with airy judgment sharp and quick, wrapping thoughts around you thick, and if so be in one you stick, never stop to toil and bother. Lightly leap, to another, far away be balmy seep. Ugh. What's the matter? Where's the pain? Friends, I'm dying. From the bed. Out creeps bugbears scantly fed, and my ribs they bite in twain, and my lifeblood they suck, and my manhood off they pluck, and my loins they dig and drain, and I'm dying once again. Oh, take not the smart so deeply to heart. Why, what can I do? Vanish my skin so ruddy of hue, vanish my lifeblood, vanish my shoe, vanish my purse, and what is still worse, as I hummed an old tune till my watch should be past, I had very near vanished myself at the last. Hello there, are you pondering? Yes, to be sure. And what have your ponderings come to? Whether these bugs will leave a bit of me? Consume, you wretch! Faith, I'm consumed already. Come, don't flinch. Pull up the clothes again. Search out and catch some very subtle dodge to fleece your creditors. Oh, me? How can I fleece anyone with all these fleeces on me? Puts his head under the clothes. Come, let me peep a moment what he's doing. Aye, he's asleep. No fear of that. Caught anything. No, nothing. Surely something. Well, I had something in my hand alone. Pull up the clothes again and go on pondering. Oh, what? Now do please tell me, Socrates. What is it that you want? First tell me that. You are heard 1,000,000 times what 'tis I want. My debts. I want a shirk of my debts. Come, pull up the clothes. Refine your thoughts. With subtle wit, look at the cases on all sides. Mind you divide correctly. Ugh, oh me. Hush, if you meet with any difficulty, leave it a moment. Then return again to the same thought. Then lift and weigh it well. Oh, here's dear Socrates. Well, my old friend, I've found a notion how to shirk my debts. Well then, propound it. What do you think of this? Suppose I hire some grand Thylician witch to conjure down the moon, and then I take it and clap it into some round helmet box, and keep it fast there, like a looking-glass. But what's the use of that? The use, quotha? Why, if the moon should never rise again, I'd never pay 1 farthing. No, why not? Why don't we pay our interest by the month? Good. Now I'll proffer you another problem. Suppose an action damage 5 talents. Now tell me, how can you evade that same? How? Can't say at all, but I'll go seek. Don't wrap your mind forever round yourself, but let your thoughts range freely through the air, like chafers with a thread about their feet. I found a bright evasion of the action. Confess yourself, 'tis glorious. But what is it? I say, haven't you seen the druggist's shop? That stone, that splendidly transparent stone by which the candle fire? The burning glass? That's it. Well then, I'd get me one of these, and as the clerk was entering down my case, I'd stand like this, some distance toward the sun, and burn out every line. By the three graces, a clever dodge. Oh me, how pleased I am, to have a debt like that clean blotted out. Come then, make haste and snap up this. Well, what? How to prevent an adversary's suit? Supposing you were sure to lose it, tell me. Oh, nothing easier. How, pray? Why thus. While there was yet one trial intervening, ere mine was cited, I'd go hang myself. Absurd. No, by the gods, it isn't, though. They cannot prosecute me were I dead. Nonsense, be off. I'll try no more to teach you. Why not? Do please. Now please do. Socrates. Why, you forgot all that you learned directly. Come, say what you learnt first. There's a chance for you. What was first? Dear me, whatever was it? Whatever's that we need the barley in. Bless us, what was it? Be off and feed the crows. You most forgetful, most absurd old dolt. Oh me, what will become of me, poor wretch? I'm clean undone. I haven't learnt to speak. Oh gracious clouds, now do advise me something. Our counsel, ancient friend, is simply this. To send your son, if you have one at home, and let him learn this wisdom in your stead. Yes, I've a son, quite a fine gentleman, but he won't learn, so what am I to do? What, is he master? Well, he's strong and vigorous, and he's got some of the Koisera blood within him. Still, I'll go for him, and he won't come. By all the gods, I'll turn him out the doors. Go in one moment, I'll be back directly. Socrates exits to Frontisterion, and Stripides to his house. Dost thou not see how bounteous we are favors free will shower on you, since whatsoever your will prepare, this dupe will do? But now that you have dazzled and elated so your man, make haste and seize whatever you please, as quickly as you can. For cases such as these, my friend, are very prone to change and bend. Enter Strepisiades and Pheidippides. Get out, you shan't stop here. So help me, mist. Be off and eat up Megacles, columns. How now, my father? What's I the wind today? You're wandering, by Olympian Zeus you are. Look there, Olympian Zeus, you blockhead you, come to your age, and yet believe in Zeus. Why, prithee, what's the joke? 'Tis so preposterous, when babes like you hold antiquated notions. But come and I'll impart a thing or two, a wrinkle, making you a man indeed. But mind, don't whisper this to anyone. Well, what's the matter? Didn't you swear by Zeus? I did. See now, how good a thing is learning. There is no Zeus Pheidippides. Who then? Why, Vortex reigns, and he has turned out Zeus. Oh me, what stuff! Be sure that this is so. Who says so, pray? The Melians, Socrates, and Sheriphon, who knows about the flea tracks? And are you come to such a pitch of madness as to put faith in brain-struck men? Oh, hush, and don't blaspheme such very dexterous men, and sapient too. Men of such frugal habits. They never shave, nor use their precious ointments, nor go to baths to clean themselves. But you have taken me for a corpse and cleaned me out. Come, come, make haste. Do go and learn from me. What can one learn from them that is worth knowing? Learn, why, whatever clever's in the world, and you shall learn how gross and dense you are. But stop one moment. I'll be back directly. Oh me, what must I do with my mad father? Shall I indict him for his lunacy? Or tell the undertakers of his symptoms? Re-entering. Now then, you see this, don't you? What do you call it? That? Why, a fowl. Good, now then. What is this? That's a fowl too. What, both? Ridiculous. Never say that again. But mind you always. Call this a fowless and the other a fowl. A fowless. This then are the mighty secrets you have picked up among those earth-born fellows. And lots besides. But everything I learn I straight forget. I'm so old and stupid. And this is what you have lost your mantle for? It's very absent sometime. 'Tisn't lost. And what have you done with your shoes and dotard you? Shoes, you dotard you. Like Pericles, all for the best, I've lost them. Come, come, go with me. Humor me in this, and then do what you like. Ah, I remember. How I to humor you, a coaxing baby, with the first obol which my judgeship fetched me. Brought you a go-kart at the great Diesia. The time will come when you repent of this. Good boy to obey me. Halo, Socrates. Enter Socrates. Come here, I've brought this son of mine. Trouble enough, I'll warrant you. Poor infant, not yet aware of my suspension wonders. You'd make a wondrous piece of ware suspended. Hey, hang the lad. Do you abuse the master? And look, suspended. In what foolish fashion? He mouthed the word with pouting lips agape. How can he learn evasion of a suit? Timely citation, damaging replies? Hyperbolus, though, learnt them for a talent. Oh, never fear, he's very sharp by nature, for when he was a little chap, so high, he used to build small baby houses, boats, go-karts of leather, darling little frogs, carved from pomegranates. You can't think how nicely. So now, I prithee, teach them both your logics, the better as you call it, and the worse, which with the worst cause can defeat the better, or if not both, at all events the worse. Aye, with his own ears he shall hear them argue. I shan't be there, but please remember this. Give him the knack of reasoning down all justice. Exit Socrates. Enter right logic and wrong logic. Right logic. Come show yourself now with your confident brow, to the stage if you dare. Wrong logic. Lead on where you please, I shall smash you with ease, if an audience be there. You'll smash me, you say, and who are you, pray? A logic like you, but the worse of the two. Yet you I can drub, whom my better they dub. By what artifice taught? By original thought. Aye, truly your trade so successful is made, by means of these noodles of ours, I'm afraid. Not noodles, but wise. I'll smash you in your lies. By what method, forsooth? By speaking the truth. Your words I will meet, and dearly defeat. There never was justice or truth, I repeat. No justice, you say? Well, where does it stay? With the gods in the air. If justice be there, how comes it that Zeus could his father reduce, yet live with their godships unpunished and loose? Ugh, ugh, these evils come thick, I feel always sick. A bassin, quick, quick. You're a useless old drone with one foot in the grave. You're a shameless, unprincipled, dissolute knave. Hey, a rousy festoon, and a vulgar buffoon. What, lilies from you? And a parasite, too. 'Tis with gold, you don't know it. You sprinkle my head. Oh, gold is it now, but it used to be lead. But now it's a grace and glory instead. You're a little too bold. You're a good deal too old. 'Tis through you I well know not a stripling will go to attend to the rules which are taught in the schools, but Athens one day shall be up to the fools. How squalid your dress! Yours is fine, I confess, yet of old, I declare, but a pauper you were, and passed yourself off our compassion to draw as a Telephus, Euripidean, well pleased from a beggarly wallet to gnaw at inanities Pandelatine. Oh me, for the wisdom you've mentioned in jest. Oh me, for the folly of you and the rest, who you to destroy their children employ. Him you shall never teach. You are quite out of date. If not, he'll be lost, and if, as he'll find to his cost, taught nothing by you but to chatter and prate. He raves as you see. Let him be. Let him be. Touch me if you dare. I bid you beware. Forbear to wrangle and scold. Each of you show. You, what you taught their fathers of old, you let us know. Your system untried, that hearing each side, from the lips of the rivals the youth may decide, to which of your schools he will go. This then I will do. Pause. Unpause. This then I will do. And so will I too. And who will put in his claim to begin? If he wishes, he may. I kindly give away. And out of his argument quickly will I draw facts and devices the fledge of the reply, wherewith I will shoot him and smite and refute him. And at last, if a word from his mouth shall be heard, my sayings like fierce savage hornets shall pierce his forehead and eyes, till in fear and distraction he yields and he dies, with thoughts and words and maxims pondered well. Now then in confidence let both begin. Try which his rival can in speech excel. Try which his perilous wordy war can win, which all my vortices hopes are fondly centered in. O thou who wert born our sires to adorn, with characters blameless and fair, say on to what you please, say on, and to these your glorious nature declare. To hear then prepare for the discipline rare, which flourished in Athens of yore, when honor and truth were in fashion, with youth and sobriety bloomed on our shore. First of all, the old rule was preserved in our school, that boys should be seen and not heard. And then to the home of the harpist would come, decorous in action and word. All the lads of one town, though the snow peppered down, in spite of all wind and all weather. And they sang an old song as they paced it along, not shambling with thighs glued together. Oh, the dread shout of war, how it peals from afar, o'er palace the stormer adore, to some manly old air all simple and bare, which their fathers had chanted before. And should anyone dare the tune to impair, and with intricate twistings to fulfill, such as Phrynis in Spain and his long-winded train, perversely to quaver and trill, many stripes would he feel in return for his zeal, as to genuine music of foe, and every one's thigh was forward and high, as they sat to be drilled in a row, so that nothing the while, indecent or vile, the eye of a stranger might meet, and then with their hand they would smooth down the sand, whenever they rose from their seat, to leave not a trace to themselves in the place, for a vigilant lover to view. They never would soil their person with oil, but their inartificial and true, nor temper their throat to a soft mincing note, and sighs to their lovers addressed, nor laid themselves out, as they strutted about, to the wanton desires of the rest. Nor would anyone dare such stimulant fare, as the head of the radish to wish, nor to make overbold with the food of the old, the anise and parsley and fish, nor dainties to quaff, nor giggle and laugh, nor foot within foot to enfold. Faugh! This smells very strong of some musty old song, and chirrupers mounted in gold, and slaughter of beasts, and old-fashioned feasts. Yet these are the precepts which taught the heroes of old to be hardy and bold, and the men who at Marathon fought. And now must the lad from his boyhood be clad in a man's all-enveloping cloak, so that oft as the panacea returns, I feel myself ready to choke, when the dancers go by with their shields to their thigh, not caring for Pallas a jot. You therefore, young man, choose me while you can, cast in with my method your lot, and then you shall learn the form to spurn, and from dissolute baths to abstain, and fashions impure and shameful abjure, and scorners repel with disdain. And rise from your chair, if an elder be there, and respectfully give him your place, and with love and with fear your parents revere, and shrink from the brand of disgrace, and deep in your breast be the image impressed of modesty, simple and true. Nor resort any more to a dancing girl's door, nor glance at the harlotry true, lest at length by the blow of the apple they throw from the hopes of your manhood you fall. Nor dare to reply when your father is nigh, nor musty old Japhet, to call in your malice and rage that sacred old age, which lovingly cherished your youth. Yes, yes, my young friend, if to him you attend, by Bacchus I swear of a truth, you will scarce with the sty of Hippocrates vie, as a mammy suck known even there. But then you'll excel in the games you love well, all blooming, athletic, and fair, not learning to prate as your idlers debate with marvelous prickly dispute, nor dragged into court day by day to make sport in some small disagreeable suit. But you will below to the academy go, and under the olives contend, with your chaplet of reed in a contest of speed, with some excellent rival and friend, all fragrant with woodbine and peaceful content, and the leaf which the lime blossoms fling. When the plane whispers love to the elm in the grove, in the beautiful season of spring, if then they'll obey and do what I say, and follow with me the more excellent way, your chest shall be white, your skin will be bright, your arms shall be tight, your tongue shall be slight, and everything else shall be proper and right. But if you pursue what men nowadays do, you will have to begin a cold pallid skin, arms small, and chest weak, tongue practised to speak, special laws very long, and the symptoms all strong, which show that your life is licentious and wrong, and your mind he'll prepare so that foul to be fair, and fail to be foul, you shall always declare. And you'll find yourself soon, if you listen to him, with the filth of Antimachus filled to the brim. O glorious sage, with loveliest wisdom teeming, sweet on thy words does ancient virtue rest. Thrice happy they who watch thy youth's bright beaming. Thou of the vaunted genius do thy best. This man has gained applause, his wisdom stands confessed. And you with clever words and thoughts must needs your case adorn, else he will surely win the day, and you retreat with scorn. Ay, say you so? Why, I have been half burst, I do so long, to overthrow his arguments, with arguments more strong. I am the lesser logic, true. These schoolmen call me so, simply because I was the first of all mankind to show how old established rules and laws might contradicted be. And this, as you may guess, is worth £1,000 to me, to take the feebler cause, and yet to win the disputation. And mark me now, how I'll confute his boasted education. You said that always from warm baths the stripling must abstain. Why must he? On what grounds do you of these warm baths complain? Why, it's the worst thing possible. It's quite unstrings a man. Hold there. I've got you round the waist. Escape me if you can. And first, Of all the sons of Zeus, which think you was the best? Which was the manliest? Which endured more toils than all the rest? Well, I suppose that Hercules was bravest and most bold. And are the baths of Hercules so wonderfully cold? You blame warm baths, I think. This is what they say. This is the stuff our precious youths are chattering all the day. This is what makes them haunt the baths and shun the manlier games. Well then, we'll take the forum next. I praise it, and he blames. But if it was so bad, do you think old Homer would have made Nestor and all his worthies ply a real forensic trade? Well, then it says a stripling's tongue should always idle be. It says, I say it should be used, of course, so there we disagree. And next he says you must be chaste. A most preposterous plan. Come, tell me, did you ever know one single blessed man gain the least good by chastity? Come, prove me I'm wrong. Make haste. Yes, many. Peleus gained a sword by being chaste. A sword indeed! A wondrous meed the unlucky fool obtained. Hyperbolus, the lamp-maker, hath made many a talent gained by knavish tricks which I have taught. But not a sword, no. Then Peleus did to his chaste life the bed of Thetis owe. And then she cut and ran away, for nothing so engages a woman's heart as afterward warmth. Old shred of those dark ages. For take this chastity, young man, sift it inside and out. Count all the pleasures, all the joys. It bids you live without. No kind of dames, no kind of games, no laughing, feasting, drinking. Why, life itself is little worth without these joys. I'm thinking. Well, I must notice how, now, the wants by nature's self-implanted. You love, seduce, you can't help that. You're caught, convicted, granted. You're done for, you can't say one word. Well, if you follow me, indulge your genius, laugh and quaff, hold nothing base to be. Why, if you're in adultery caught, your pleas will still be ample. You've done no wrong. You'll say, and then, bring Zeus as your example. He fell before the wondrous powers, by love and beauty wielded. And how can you, the mortal, stand, where he, the immortal, yielded? Aye, but suppose, in spite of all, he must be wedged and sanded. Won't he be probed, or else can you prevent it? Now be candid. And what's the damage if it should be so? What greater damage does the young man know? What will you do if this dispute I win? I'll be forever silent. Good, begin. The counselor, from whence comes he? From probed adulterers. I agree. The tragic poets, whence are they? From probed adulterers. So I say. The orators, what class of men? All probed adulterers. Right again. You feel your error, I'll engage. But look once more around the stage. Survey the audience, which they be, probed or not probed. I see. Well, give me your verdict. I must go. For probed adulterers, him I know, and him, the probed are most. How stands we then? I own, I've lost. O Senatus, take my robe. Your words have won. To you I run, to live and die with glorious probe. The two logics go out and enter Socrates from the Frontisterion and Strepsiades from his own house to see how his son's education has been progressing. During the interval of the chorus, that education is supposed to be completed. Well, what do you want? To take away your son? At once, or shall I teach him how to speak? Teach him and flog him, and be sure you well. Sharpen his wit, mother. Sharpen his mother wit. Grind the one edge, fit for my little lawsuits and the other. Why, make that serve for more important matters. Oh, never fear, he'll make a splendid sophist. Well, I hope he'll be a poor pale rascal. Go, but unless the thought is strong, you will repent of this ire long. Now we wish to tell the judges all the blessings they shall gain, if, as justice plainly warrants, we the worthy prize obtain. First, whenever is the season, we would fain your fields renew. All the world shall wait expectant, till we've poured our rain on you. Then of all your crops and vineyards, we will take the utmost care, so that neither drought oppress them, nor the heavy rain impair. But if anyone amongst you dare to treat our claims with scorn, mortal he, the clouds immortal, better had he ne'er been born. He from his estate shall gather neither corn, nor oil, nor wine, for whenever blossoms sparkle on the olive or the vine, they shall all at once be blighted. We will ply our slings so true, and if ever we behold him, building up his mansions anew, with our tight and nipping hailstones, we will all his tiles destroy. But if he, his friends or kinfolk, would a marriage feast enjoy, all night long will pour in torrents. So perchance he'll rather pray to endure the drought of Egypt, than decide amiss today. The 5th, the 4th, the 3rd, and then the 2nd, and then the day which more than all the rest, I loathe in strength from the and abominate. Then comes at once that hateful old and new day, and every single blessed dun has sworn. He'll stake his gage and ruin and destroy me, and when I make a modest small request, O my good friend, part don't exact at present, and part defer, and part remit. They swear so they shall never touch it, and abuse me, as a rank swindler, threatening me with actions. Now let them bring their actions. Who's afraid? Not I, if these have taught my son to speak. But there's the door. I'll knock and soon find out. Boy, ho there, boy. I clasp Strepsiades, and I clasp you. But take this meal bag first. 'Tis meet and right to glorify one's tutors. But tell me, has my son yet learnt that second logic which he saw just now? He hath. Hurrah, great sovereign knavery! You may escape whatever suit you please. What if I borrowed before witnesses? Before 1,000, and the more the merrier. Then shall my song be loud and deep. Weep, oval wares, weep, weep, weep. Ye and your principles and compound interests, for ye shall never pester me again. Such a song have I bred. He is within the door. Born to inspire my foemen with dread, born his old father's house to restore. Keen and polished of tongue is he. He my champion and guard shall be. He will set his old father free. Run you and call him forth to me. O my child, O my sweet, come out, I entreat. 'Tis the voice of your sire. Here's the man you require. Joy, joy of my heart. Take your son and depart. O come, my son, O dear, O dear. O joy to see your beautiful complexion. Aye, now you have an aspect negative, and disputative, and our native query shines forth there. What do you say? You've the true face, which rogues put on, of injured innocence. You have the regular Attic look about you. So now you save me, for 'twas you undid me. What is it ails you? Why, the old and new day. And is there such a day as old and new? Yes, that's the day they mean to stake their gauges. They'll lose them if they stake them. What do you think? That one day can be 2 days, both together. Why, can't it be so? Surely not, or else a woman might at once be old and young. Still, the law says so. True, but I believe they don't quite understand it. You explain it. Old Solon had a democratic turn. Well, but that's nothing to the old and new. Hence, then he fixed that summonses be issued for these 2 days, the old one and the new one, so that the gauge be staked on the new month. What made him add the old, then? I will tell you. He wished the litigants to meet on that day, and compromise their quarrels. If they could not, they let them fight it out on the new month. Why then do magistrates receive the stakes on the old and the new instead of the new month? Well, I believe they act like the foretasters. They wish to bag the gauge as soon as possible, and thus they gain a whole day's foretaste of it. Aha, poor dupes! Why sit ye mooning there? Game for us, artful dodgers, you dull stones, you ciphers, lambskins, butts piled up together. Oh, my success inspires me, and I'll sing glad eulogies on me, and thee, my son. Man, O blessed, most divine, what a wondrous wit is thine! What a son to grace thy line! Friends and neighbors, day by day, thus will say, when with envious eyes my suits, they see you win. But first I feast you, so come in, my son, come in. Enter Passius and his witness. What? Must a man lose his own property? No, never, never. Better have refused with a bold face than be so plagued at this. See, to get paid by my own just debts, I am forced to drag you to bear witness, and what's worse, I needs must quarrel with my townsman here. Well, I won't shame my country while I live. I'll go to law, I'll summon him. Hello? To the next old and new. He named 2 days. You'll summon me. Bear witness, all. He named 2 days. You'll summon me. What for? The 50 pounds I lent you when you bought that iron gray. Just listen to the fellow. The whole world knows that I detest all horses. I swear you swore by all the gods to pay me. Well, now I swear I won't. Phidippus has learnt since then the unanswerable logic, and will you therefore shirk my just demands? Of course I will. Why else should he have learnt it? And will you dare forswear it by the gods? The gods indeed. What gods? Poseidon, Hermes, Zeus? By Zeus I would, though I have 2 pence halfpenny for the privilege. Oh, then confound you for a shameless rogue. Hollow, this butt should be rubbed down with salt. Zounds, you deride me. Why, 'twill hold your 4 gallons. You 'scape me not. By mighty Zeus and all the gods. I wonderfully like the gods, An oath by Zeus is sport to knowing ones. Sooner or later you'll repent of this. Come, do you mean to pay your debts or don't you? Tell me and I'll be off. Now do have patience. I'll give you a clear answer in one moment. What do you think he'll do? I think he'll pay you. Where is that horrid dun? Oh, here, now tell me. What you call this? Would I call that a trough? Heavens, what a fool, and do you want your money? I'd never pay 1 penny to a fellow. Who calls my trough this? Trough. So there's your answer. Then you won't pay me? No, not if I know it. Come put your best foot forward and be off. March off, I say, this instant. May I die? If I don't go at once and stake my gage. No, don't. The 50 pounds are lost enough. And really, on my word, I would not wish you to lose this too just for one silly blunder. Ah, me. Oh. Hello. Who's that making that horrible noise? Not one of Carnus's sniveling gods. Who cares to know what I am? What imports it? An all-starred man. Then keep it to yourself. O heavy fate, O fortune, thou hast broken my chariot wheels. Thou hast undone me, Pallas. How has Timoleus been at you, man? Jeer me not, friend, but tell your worthy son to pay me back the money which I lent him. I'm in a bad way, and the times are pressing. What money do you mean? Why, what he borrowed. You are in a bad way, I really think. Driving my 4-wheel out I fell, by Zeus. You rave as if you'd fallen times out of mind. I rave? How so? I only claim my own. You can't be quite right, surely. Why, what mean you? I shrewdly guess your brains received a shake. I shrewdly guess that you'll receive a summons, if you don't pay my money. Well then, tell me, which theory do you side with, that the rain falls fresh each time, or the sun draws back the same old rain and sends it down again? I'm very sure I neither know nor care. Not care, good heavens, and do you claim your money? So unenlightened in the nature of laws of nature. If you're hard up then, pay me back the interest, at least. Interest? What kind of a beast is that? What else than day by day and month by month? Larger and larger still the silver grows, as time sweeps by. Finally and nobly said, What then? Think you the sea is larger now than 'twas last year? No, surely 'tis no larger. It is not right it should be. And do you then, insatiable grasper, when the sea, receiving all these rivers, grows no larger? Do you desire your silver to grow larger? Come now, you prosecute your journey off. Here, fetch the whip. Bear witness, I appeal. Be off. What, won't you? Gee up, Sigma Brand. I say a clear assault. You won't be off. I'll stimulate you. Zeus, I'll goad your haunches. Aha, you run. Exit Amenius. Aha, you run. I thought I'd stir you up. You and your phaetons and wheels and all. Exit. What a thing it is to long for matters which are wrong. For you see how this old man is seeking, if he can, his creditor's trepan, and I confidently say that he will this very day such a blow, amid his preposterous cheats receive, that he will deeply, deeply grieve. For I think that he has won what he wanted for his son, and the lad has learned the way, all justice to gainsay. Be it what or where it may, that he'll trump up any tale, right or wrong, and so prevail. This I know. Yea, and perchance the time will come, when he shall wish his son were dumb. Enter Strepsiades and Phidippides. Oh! Help, murderer! Help! O neighbors, kinfolk, townsmen! Help, one and all, against this base assault! Aha! My cheek, my head! O luckless me! Wretch, do you strike your father? Yes, papa. See, he owns he struck me! To be sure, scoundrel and parricide and housebreaker. Thank you. Go on. Do please go on. I'm quite delighted to be called such names. O probed adulterer, roses from your lips. Strike you your father? Oh dear, yes. What's more, I'll prove I struck you justly. Struck me justly? Villain, how can you strike a father justly? Yes, and I'll demonstrate it if you please. Demonstrate this? Oh yes, quite easily. Come, take your choice. Which logic do you choose? Which what? Logic, the better or the worse? Ah then, in very truth, I've had you taught to reason down all justice. If you think you can prove this, that it is just and right that fathers should be beaten by their sons. Well, I think I'll prove it. If you'll listen, so that even you won't have one word to answer. Come, I should like to hear what you've to say. 'Tis yours, old man, some method to contrive this fight to win. He would not without arms wherewith to strive so bold have been. He knows, be sure, whereon to trust. His eager bearing proves he must. So come and tell us from what cause this sad dispute began. Come, tell us how it first arose. Do tell us if you can. Well, from the very first I will the whole contention show. 'Twas when I went into the house to feast him, as you know. I bade him bring his lyre and sing, the supper to adorn, some lay of old Simonides, as how the ram was shorn. But he replied, to sing at meals was coarse and obsolete, like some old beldame humming airs, the while she grinds her wheat. And should you not be thrashed who told your son from food abstaining to sing, and though you were, forsooth, Siculus, entertaining? You hear him. So he said just now, or ere high words began, and next he calls Simonides, a very sorry man, and when I heard him I could scarce my rising wrath command. Yet so I did, and him I bid, take myrtle in his hand, and chant some lines from Achilles. But he replied with ire, believe me, I'm not one of those who Achilles admire, that rough, unpolished, turgid bard, that mouther of bombast. When he said this, my heart began to heave extremely fast. Yet still I keep my passion down, and said, then, prithee you, sing one of those new-fangled songs which modern striplings do. And he began the shameful tale. Euripides has told how a brother and sister lived, incestuous lives of old. Then I could no more restrain. But first I must confess, with song abuse I'd loaded him. And so, as you may guess, we stormed and bandied threat for threat, till out at last he flew, and smashed and thrashed and thumped and bumped and bruised me black and blue. And rightly too, who coolly dared Euripides to blame, most sapient bard. Most sapient bard, you! What's your fitting name? Ah, but he'll pummel me again. He will, and justly too. What, justly, heartless villain? When 'twas I who nurtured you. I knew your little lisping ways, how soon you'd hardly think. If you cried brie, I guessed your wants, and used to give you drink. If you said ma'am, I fetched you bread with fond discernment true, and you could hardly say caca, when through the door I flew and held you out a full arm's length, your little needs to do. But now when I was crying, that I with pain was dying, you brute, you would not tarry, me out of doors to carry, but choking with despair, I've been and done it there. Sure all young hearts are palpitating now, to hear him plead, since if those lips are artful with artful words avow the daring deed, and once a favouring verdict win, a fig for every old man's skin. O thou, who rakest up new thoughts, with daring hands profane, try all you can, ingenious man, that verdict to obtain. How sweet is it, these novel arts, these clever words to know, and have the power established rules, and laws to overthrow. Why, in old times when horses were my sole delight, 'twas wonder if I could say a dozen words, without some awful blunder. But now that he has made me quit that reckless mode of living, and I have been to subtle thoughts my whole attention giving, I hope to prove my logic strict, 'tis right to beat my father. Oh, by your horse's back, by Zeus, since I would 10 times rather have to support a four in hand. So I be struck no more. Peace, I will now resume the thread where I broke off before. And first I asked, when I was young, did you not strike me then? Yea, for I loved and cherished you. Well, solve me this again. It is not just that I, your son, should cherish you alike, and strike you, since, as you observe, to cherish means to strike. What, must my body needs be scourged, and pounded black and blue, and yours be scatheless? Was not I as much freeborn as you? Children are whipped, and shall not sires be whipped? Perhaps you'll urge the children's minds. Alone are taught by blows. Age is second childhood, then, that everybody knows, and as by old experience age should guide its steps more clearly, so when they err they surely should be punished more severely. But law goes everywhere for me. Deny it if you can. Well, was not he who made the law a man, a mortal, as you or I, who in old times talked over all the crowd? And think you that you to me or me the same is not allowed? To change it so that sons by blows should keep their fathers steady? Still, we'll be liberal, and blows which we've received already we will forget. We'll have no ex post facto legislation. Look at the gamecocks. Look at all the animal creation. Do not they beat their parents? I say then that in fact they are as we, except that they no special laws enact. So why don't you, if always where the gamecocks leads you follow, ascend your perch to roost at night, and dirt and ordure swallow? The case is different there, old man, as Socrates would see. Well, then you'll blame yourself at last. If you keep striking me, how so? Why, if it's right for me to punish you, my son, you can if you have got one, yours. Ay, but suppose I've none, then having gullied me you will die. Well, I've been flogged in vain. Good friends, I really think he has some reason to complain. I must concede he has put the case in quite a novel light. I really think we should be flogged unless we act aright. Look to a fresh idea then. He'll be my death, I vow, yet then perhaps you will not grudge, even when you suffer now. How will you make me like the blows, which I received today? Yes, for I'll beat my mother too. What? What is it that you say? Why, this is worse than all. But what if as I prove the other, by the same logic I can prove 'tis right to beat my mother? Ay, what indeed, if this you plead, if this you think to win? Why then, for all I care, you may, to the accursed pit convey, yourself with all your learning new, your master and your logic too, and tumbled headlong in. O clouds, I owe all this to you. Why did I let you manage my affairs? Nay, nay, old man, you owe it to yourself. Why didst thou turn to wicked practices? Ah, but ye should have asked me that before, and not have spurred a poor old fool to evil. Such is our plan. We find a man on evil thoughts intent, guide him along to aim and wrong, then leave him to repent. Hard words, alas, yet not more hard than just. It was not right unfairly to keep back the money that I borrowed. Come, my darling, come and destroy that filthy Cepharon and Socrates, for they've deceived us both. No, I will lift no hand against my tutors. Yes, do come, reverence, paternal Zeus. Look there, paternal Zeus. What an old fool. Is there a Zeus? There is. There is no Zeus. Young Vortex reigns, and he has turned out Zeus. No Vortex reigns. That was my foolish thought, all through this vortex here. Fool that I was to think a piece of earthenware a god. Well, rave away, talk nonsense to yourself. Exit. Oh, fool, 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 how mad I must have been to cast away the gods for Socrates. Yet Hermes, gracious Hermes, be not angry, nor crush me utterly, but look with mercy on faults to which his idle talk hath led me, and lend thy counsel. Tell me, had I better plague them with lawsuits, or how else annoy them? Affects to listen. Good, your advice is good. I'll have no lawsuits. I'll go at once and set their house on fire. The prating rascals. Here, here, Xanthias. Quick, quick here. Bring your ladder and your pitchfork. Climb to the roof of their vile thinking house. Dig at their tiles, dig stoutly, and thou lovest me. Tumble the very house about their ears, and someone fetch me here a lighted torch, and I'll soon see it, boasters as they are. They won't repent of what they've done to me. First student. Within. Oh dear, oh dear. Now, my torch, send out a lusty flame. Man, what are you doing? What are you at there? What am I at? I'll tell you, I'm splitting straw with your house rafters here. Oh, me? Who's been and set our house on fire? Who was it, think you, that you stole the cloak from? Oh, murder, murder! That's the very thing, unless this pick prove traitor to my hopes, or I fall down and break my blessed neck. Hello! What are you at? Up on our roof? I walk on air and contemplate the sun. Oh, I shall suffocate, oh dear, oh dear. Seraphon, and I, poor devil, shall be burnt to death. For with what aim did ye insult the gods, and pry around the dwellings of the moon? Strike, smite them, spare them not, for many reasons, but most because they have blasphemed the gods. Led out of the way, for I think we may say, we have acted our part very fairly today.